You're watching the GameSpot co-op stage, sponsored by LEGO Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. It's Chris Waters, joined by a crew of YouTube famous superstar celebrity gentlemen.
That you mean you're beating us up way too much right now?
That's
welcome.
what they told me to call them.
You are going to be underwhelmed by what we do and talk about then.
Well, we like to, build you guys up just to watch you crumble in front of all of us.
I'm sure if anyone's watching and chatting along, they'll be sure to flame us in the chat, and it'll be great.
All right, you guys. Jovenshire.
What up? Very glad to be here.
Sohinki, Lasercorn. You guys, well known across the tubes.
We've been having a lot of fun doing some Smosh Games videos, hanging out at E3, and very glad to be here now.
Dude, so we're talking E3.
Yes.
And we're sort of, last segments of E3, we're wrapping this show. We're sort of taking a look back, how this E3 shook out, and in this segment, we're talking rumors versus reality. What do we think was gonna happen coming into E3? How did it all end up shaking out? So let's start with one of the biggest rumors. Where do you want to start? There's so many.
Well, there were so many, and honestly, I think the rumors are always the most exciting spot because you go into the presentations and you're like, oh my god, I hope they announce this. I hope they announce this.
Oh, it's got to be this one.
And then either
the next
at the end of it,
up.
you're super excited, or you're just feeling a little empty and cold inside, like they didn't talk about it.
Oh.
But we had some good ones coming into it, though.
All right, so let's start off with,
I got one right off the bat, and this one is sort of a rumor with a rumor tacked onto it.
Yeah.
So going into
Rumorception.
Yeah, a lot of people were expecting to see Red Dead Redemption 2.
Dos.
Right.
We did not see a trailer for that, and a lot of people thought that game is not here. They didn't do it. Why didn't they do it?
And it's funny because you mentioned the rumor into a rumor into a rumor.
Yes.
And now the new rumor is that PlayStation was going to show it off at the very end. But they decided to scrap it at the last minute because the trailer may have had some untimely themes to it that they just didn't feel like it was a good thing to
Given some
put up.
recent events, and so they wanted to be sensitive to it.
There was
Absolutely.
But the good news in all of it is that Red Dead 2 seems to be out there.
Seems like it. Feeling pretty
Well,
strong.
that's the rumor anyway.
Yes, that's the rumor.
We're in rumor
We
town.
don't know for a fact.
I mean, so either it wasn't there or the rumor is true and they've just delayed it until a better time, which is, I think, what we're all hoping.
Yeah. Either way, we were sad to not see it.
Sad to not see it, but also, traditionally, Rockstar Games, not a huge presence at E3.
No.
No.
They
That's a
kind
good
of
point.
do their own thing. They can pull the eyes whenever they want to. They're Rockstar,
Yeah.
so...
But man, do you remember the reception when they showed the trailer for Grand Theft Auto 5?
Oh.
Like, we could have had that moment again, and I'm sad that we didn't. But with that said, I also hope that in the next month or two, maybe we'll see that trailer. What is the next gaming event?
The next gaming event? Well,
Like
we've
big
got
one. Gamescom?
Comic-Con's not really a gaming thing.
They
PAX,
have
maybe?
gaming stuff.
Gamescom?
PAX, yeah.
Gamescom's another one that maybe some of these rumors will stick to. But the slot in the Sony press conference you're talking about, right at the end when they did the sort of gameplay show off for Days Gone, seemed a little odd. Why'd they place that there? Why not put it by the trailer earlier in the show? Another rumor, another sort of connected to another rumor I've heard that maybe Sony was thinking of announcing the PlayStation Neo, teasing that a little bit,
That's
their
right.
new sort of PS1 4.5 kind of thing, but that maybe they backed off
After
in the
Scorpio.
days ahead of
After
time.
Yeah.
Scorpio
Like, well,
came
because
out.
of Scorpio.
They knew ahead of time, like, all right, Xbox is going to say something. All right, well, are we going to say, let's just announce ahead of time? Yeah, we got a Neo. There's a thing that's coming. We'll give you information when there actually needs to be information.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Xbox kind of went an interesting direction because they're like the most powerful gaming console ever. It's like, well, yeah, it's the first announcement of the next generation.
Yep.
PlayStation could be sitting back and like, we'll see about that. Let us see what your specs are, and then we'll show you the most powerful.
The most powerful gaming console ever. That's almost sort of kind of as powerful as a PC.
Yeah.
Maybe
be there.
by the time it comes out, it's gonna be good, guys. 4K. It's got 4K.
Hey,
We're excited
HDR.
about it.
All right, let's talk about, I got the list here.
Yes.
So
Sweet.
another big rumor we had coming in, Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
was the one that I was really sad about.
I just felt it in my stomach because I forgot that was a rumor, never saw anything of it, and I'm like, we didn't get that. Ugh.
That was a game that I largely wrote off before it came out originally. I was like, oh, it's like Assassin's Creed reskinned with Lord of the Rings, and then it was incredible, and then I wanted a second one, and now it seems like we're not getting
honestly,
a second one right now.
I was excited to hear more about the Mafia system that they utilize.
Yeah.
That we have not
Well,
seen.
Nemesis.
I'm sorry, the Nemesis system.
You say that, so he called it the Mafia system because immediately when they introduced that system, we were like, imagine this system in a Mafia game where you're trying to work your way up the ranks of the Mafia ladder and be like the Don.
But
we also talked about it in like a Batman context where like the different criminals, if you take one down, lock them away, someone else fills the void.
Yeah, the Nemesis system is so good. Yeah. The fact that any of these games haven't utilized it, it's like, all right, well, in Shadow Mordor 2, we'll see it again.
It'll bring
but now we don't see it.
Nemesis.
Honestly, I spent so much time just assassinating generals and people that I didn't have to kill just to see what would happen in the hierarchy in that game.
Yeah. I used to like making them fight each other. And then you sit back and snipe and kill them both.
I know we have many things to talk about, but to give a mini review of that great game, I want to see a second one because I did feel a little underwhelmed with the first one. Like, you're taking over these massive armies, and at the very end, you kind of just take the generals in. Spoiler alert. So I feel like a second one would have been great to really see how big Middle-earth is during this timeline.
Well, so that question goes hand in hand with the rumor, right? Why were you excited to see Shadows of Mordor 2? Because you like the first one, but now you're excited to see what they do next. What do you want them to do next?
Yeah.
Trolls. Traditional characters, too. Like the Grogs, it's like, okay, it kind of looks like a troll and moves like a just call them trolls, you know? Just call them what they are. It was
Italian, like, so he's a made-up character as far as the Lord of the Rings universe, but it would be cool to see his story maybe intersect with some of the events of the movies and the books and
great.
So.
Yeah, it was
Here's hoping. Maybe next year.
Maybe. Maybe next year.
All right, let's go down the list here. This one ended up paying off in a big way. Skyrim, back on the scene.
I'm just going to let him talk. He's going to fill up the next 2 hours talking about this right now.
Skyrim was so happy. Like, the rumor was there. Maybe I even started the rumor because I wanted it so bad. It only made sense. And as soon as they show stuff for in the Bethesda press conference, they're talking about their game, their MMO game. And then it's like, oh, yes. And we are working on it. I'm like, oh, yeah, I know exactly what they're talking about. And then you just hear the music, and immediately it took me back 4 or 5 years ago, and you hear that theme again. And it's just like, I was getting goosebumps. I'm yelling at my TV. I was on Sunday, so I wasn't on the floor. I was at home, actually, just in sweatpants, typing. I'm like, yes!
I could hear you through your tweets. Your tweets were screaming at me off of Twitter.
Though, if I was to give a negative spin also, I was kind of hoping that with the announcement of Skyrim HD, which almost seemed like a go-to, and if you're a PC gamer, you kind of already have it, where is maybe an Oblivion HD remastered, or with Fallout 4's success, maybe Fallout 3 and New Vegas. So I think there's more that they could have done. There's always more that you can do.
Yeah. I mean, Skyrim already looks pretty good. Yeah, I could definitely see an Oblivion attracting a lot of attention on HD.
Absolutely.
That,
as a Skyrim superfan, do you feel comfortable with me identifying you that way?
I can identify as that, yes.
Okay. Are you going to play it again?
Absolutely,
Are you going to sit down on the
This
Xbox
man has
your
logged
PS4?
like over 100 hours.
No,
in
I'm,
that
You've
game.
already played it more than once, have you not?
No, actually, there's so much to do. 222 hours in one playthrough. And I will still do it again.
The veins are popping in this man's neck from excitement.
It is
very clear what
I'm
he wants to
also,
do.
and I understand, I'm also more of a console gamer than a PC gamer, though I'm definitely into that world more now. But to be able to play on my Xbox One and play Skyrim again and be able to relive these memories with the mod support on console, I think it's great. I'm just happy.
Yeah.
Honestly, anything that brings more mud crabs with, monocles and top hats into my life, I'm for it.
He was a fan of the My Little Ponies as dragons.
Yep. I modded My Little Pony into Skyrim. That was horrifying. Way scarier than dragons.
Our Jedi Sith run with the lightsaber.
That's true. There's also a child killing mod, so you could go into an orphanage, what me and Joven did, and we had a lightsaber mod, and we reenacted the scene from one of the Star Wars prequels. And we just
Padawans.
And look,
we killed all the
this
children.
does not say anything about these individuals as people.
Definitely not.
It was all simulation.
It was a modern take on a classic.
They will not end up on a no-fly list.
Classic movie.
Yeah.
All right, on to another big announcement. Resident Evil.
Resident Evil
rumors
7.
of a new Resident Evil
Have
coming.
you played the demo yet?
I have not played the demo. I am not a big, scary game.
The demo is horrifying.
I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
So you have played the demo?
I've seen footage of it played, and it is like I couldn't I started in full screen, and then there was a noise behind one of the doors, and I minimized it so it wasn't as big. I'm like, something's gonna jump out and get me.
You're gonna be, well,
and the thing that walks by, it's like, what is that? It's very creepy.
I think we're gonna have to see some scare videos for you when that one comes out.
No, you see, all my videos are crafted for maximum manliness, edited and selected.
Yeah, you
so
never scream.
You don't see
Let's
me
see, look,
screaming.
there's the footage right now.
No. Oh yeah.
I mean, it's pretty small and far away, but if you feel unsafe,
what a huge shift from.
Sohinki's right there.
And it was necessary.
I'll get behind him.
Yeah, I'll shield
What
you.
a huge shift from the other Resident Evils we've been seeing.
And you're right, it was almost because I feel like the rumor was that it was going to be a reboot, and it seems like it is. Different gameplay, different characters, different style, but it is still being called Resident Evil 7, and I think mainly because the logo alone just you
have to call it 7.
Yeah, because I never even noticed. You got the V and then the I and the L. Like, it's 7. It's right
and then,
there.
in Japan, it's called Biohazard. You put the 7 right in the Z. It's too good not to make that.
Exactly.
So, which I
when that logo popped up on screen and like everyone got chills, everyone freaked out.
Yeah,
It was so cool.
I almost wrote off the trailer because I was sitting in a meeting for something completely different. But I have like a headphone in with my laptop. I'm like, analytics and stuff.
Yes.
Oh, wait,
paying
what's this?
attention.
It's something about before the kitchen.
We like to know that he's paying attention in the meetings. Yeah.
Did you play the kitchen? I played the kitchen.
It was great.
That was freaky.
And so I saw that. I was like, oh, okay, the kitchen's turned into a game. And I'm just watching stuff. I'm watching stuff, and I see Resident Evil 7. I'm like, what? What? Rewind!
There was nothing in the kitchen to suggest that it was a Resident Evil tie-in at all. And it's interesting because at the very end of one of the endings of the playable trailer, you hear him say, "Welcome to the family." So it's not your traditional G-virus zombie that can't talk, you know? And I know they've expanded and done Las Plagas or anything, but they're not really going back to the G-virus roots because those zombies were not big talkers.
No, it's different.
they were not.
Did you ever try to talk to them?
I did, actually. I emoted, and I was like,
Un forastero!
Leon Kennedy going.
So far, a lot of enthusiasm for these announcements, and I think there's some for the next one as well. God of War. We were like, all right, hey,
that
talk
was
about the
another
rumor
rumor
first. How did that develop? And then what we saw.
No, this was something that you were like, if they don't say it, I'm just going home.
Well, no, I didn't say I'd be going home. Look, I am a huge fan of the God of War franchise, and a lot of people did not like the last installment, 3.5. Some people called it God of War Ascension is what it was called. The single player, largely panned by people, wasn't considered good, and I will even say not a good single player experience. The multiplayer, though, in God of War Ascension was so damn good. Look, I am a PC gamer at heart. I play PC games, but I stopped playing every game but this game for 3 months straight when God of War Ascension came out because the multiplayer was that good, and I was just hoping they'd bring it back. That being said,
you're disappointed that it's not a multiplayer-only reboot of God of War.
No, that's it. Yes, quote me on that. No, I was a little sad.
It looks so
to
great.
See it not in the game, but when I saw this, I was so surprised by the new camera angle and everything.
Yeah.
It looks more cinematic than the other games. Like, I'm really excited to see God of War told from this perspective and more of it have more of storytelling elements, I think, behind it, and the way that they're able to expand on the God of War universe and take a risk, which is ultimately like my biggest pet peeve is like seeing sequels that are just the same game over again, basically. So it's really cool to see them actually try something new.
And speaking of, since this is a rumor segment, this kid right here, me and Joven were talking earlier. This kid his name is Thor. Rumored to be Thor. And so kind of a theory we were spinning is Kratos has kidnapped Odin's son and is now going to, for whatever reason, take out all the gods of Norse mythology, which would be awesome. But this is clearly a more Norse-themed God of War we're seeing.
Wouldn't that be amazing? Like, if this is Thor, you kidnap Thor, now all the Norse gods are attacking. Just how do you beat that epicness?
How do you make Kratos even more of an unlikable character? He's a child abductor.
Yep. Well, the whole problem was, it's like, he's killed all the gods, right? There's nowhere to go from here. No, he's going to go find new gods and kill them.
Pantheon and
new gods, other lands. I'm waiting till he fights Jesus. I'm sure it's going to happen.
They'll just partner up with Smite and he'll kill all those gods, maybe.
Yeah, playable Kratos.
Confirmed. There's your new rumor from here.
Playable Kratos.
We made it up right now, but I think it's true.
I mean, it just seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Lots of signs point to it. You know, literally seconds have been spent discussing it.
He technically fits under the Roman pantheon, right?
Yeah.
The Greek pantheon. He can get in there.
Yeah.
All right, Naughty Dog just released Uncharted 4 recently. We were maybe hoping to
here we
hear
go
from
again.
Naughty Dog this year at E3.
About maybe a more zombie-filled game.
Wanted some
Not
Last
zombies.
of Us
Yeah.
2.
That was
Yeah.
another rumor. And again, as soon as you said it, I was like, that's right. We didn't get that.
Yeah.
I'm just helping you relive.
Yeah,
your-
just all
your
the pains I was
trauma
having the
from
first
earlier
2 days.
this week.
Speaking, by the way, of excellent, innovative multiplayer, we were talking a little before we hopped on stage here.
Oh, my dude. Last
Look,
of Us multiplayer is so
Last
so
of
good.
Us, probably, I would say the best single-player experience I've ever had. I loved it. The multiplayer was almost just as good.
It was incredible.
It was
Such-
different. It was unique. It was a gamble, and that's why it was great.
Nailed it. But no Last of Us 2
No Last
at
of Us.
E3 2016. What do you think? Well, we're going to do a predictions segment later on, and so we'll get into that, what we're going to see next year at E3 later on, but maybe Last of Us will come up then. All right, this one was rumored ahead of time and actually ended up being revealed before E3, Watch Dogs.
Yep.
Yes. Which, if
I
I
like to
would
call
just
it
be,
Y Dogs.
yeah, if we were to be completely honest,
Have you tried the new one out?
What? No, is it way
I-
better?
it looks
I
like they fixed a lot of the stuff in the first one.
I played about an hour of the first one before I gave up on it.
Every single person I've talked to that has tried out the demo for Watch
yeah?
Dogs 2 says that it is way better than the first
Yeah.
one.
Really?
I haven't gotten a chance to try it myself. I can't judge it. You know, don't quote me, but everyone's saying it's way better.
I heard the rumor. I was surprised about it, and then we saw gameplay of it. And I was like, oh, well, good job. There we go. And now we saw a strong base with the first one, and now it just seems like a much larger world with great mechanics, and it's going to open up that universe a bit more.
And I think the comparison a lot of people have been maybe, the ideal situation is Assassin's Creed to Assassin's Creed 2,
Yeah.
Watch Dogs to Watch Dogs 2,
Yeah, that's a good
just
comparison.
really like hitting their stride,
Yeah.
not having to conjure everything from scratch, having that foundation to build on, to tweak, having all that knowledge from, all the feedback from players and all that stuff.
Well, and everyone was saying I don't remember his name, the character in the first game was so lacking a personality, and that the new character is so much more likable.
Much more
Definitely.
vibrant.
I'd love to see more personality in the game, and
Yeah.
especially a game like that that's kind of all about, I don't know, they maybe are going a little overboard in terms of that hacker kitsch culture, but honestly, I kind of it's better than being too reserved, I think.
Yeah,
which maybe the
honestly,
first one
it
felt
reminded me of going back to all the hackers movies of the '90s, and I was like, all right, no, I'm into this.
Yeah.
I like the vibe. It's colorful. It seems like fun. I was digging the environment that they were really creating.
All right, the rumor mill continues to churn. Injustice 2.
Yep. Well,
And
see,
then-
that was another thing where it was a rumor, but it wasn't a rumor. If you did the math, we knew we were going to get an Injustice 2 in 2017.
What kind of math are you doing here?
Okay, well, in
He's doing the math where they switch off between Injustice and Mortal
Yeah,
Kombat.
so
now.
every 2 years you get another game. You had Mortal Kombat 9, then 2 years afterwards was Injustice, and then 2 years after that was MK10, and then that was in 2015, so 2 years later will be 2017. All right, that should be Injustice 2. Okay, here's E3. Give us Injustice 2. What's behind curtain number 1? Injustice 2.
I will
You've done the
say-
math, ladies and gentlemen. That was great.
That was good, man.
I will say that I've heard some things about it that give me some pause as far as the competitive element of the game. You guys got to try out
Yes.
the game, and you said
Yes.
that the gameplay was great.
Yes,
It's
what was
excellent.
your pause?
So I was told that each character essentially has 5 different pieces of their outfit that you can swap in and out that adjust stats somehow.
That is correct.
And I'm not sure how that's going to work as far as normalizing things in a competitive, an esports setting.
I think based on the conversations that we had with them, and you might be able to know even more than I, it seems like they might maybe be working on something that can balance everything out. Also, it kind of compares to Mortal Kombat X in the fact that
different
you choose the
stances,
character and you have
right.
different stances.
They had
makes
different
sense.
so
abilities.
everything's really balanced in the end.
Well, do you sacrifice certain, for instance, if you put on speed boots, do you sacrifice power, or how does that work?
We didn't see any of that really used. We
Okay.
had, I don't know if you can.
Well, so the way I learned that there are going to be, gear items to equip in Injustice 2 was because I saw a tweet that said, yes, they're definitely planning on, or considering at the very least, competitive modes in which gear items do not factor in.
okay.
So I sort of, backfilled, I guess there are gear items in Injustice
But
2.
with that said, the gear and being able to switch up your
Oh,
outfits.
I'm sure it looks cool.
Yeah.
Amazing. As a DC fanboy, I was like, wait, I can make him look like what? And I can do Okay, can I have this now, please?
Yeah.
And if you watch the trailer, they seem to really enjoy their armor plating coming out of nowhere. So
It makes sense.
Okay.
It was great for the trailer. When you see him in style, it looks good.
It doesn't always make sense because it's injustice, because no amount of armor is going to stop Superman spiking you into the
Kryptonite
earth,
armor.
killing you.
Kryptonite armor.
If you're the Flash,
now he's pulling his spike.
Man,
He's
you
not
try to
spiking
bring
as hard as
logic
he
into
he's
can.
not
Justice
spiking him.
world,
He's not
you're
spiking
gonna
him
have
from
a
space.
bad
He's
time.
not. Let's
Well,
not
he's
bring
up in
logic
space.
into
He's
it.
giving you a light toss
Yeah.
down to Earth.
Raging logic debates on Injustice 2 will continue while we take a quick break before the next segment, folks. We are live from the E3 show floor here on the GameSpot co-op stage. Stick with us.